Control the ball and pass it to your teammate. If possible, dribble the ball past a player and then pass it to a teammate. This is quintessentially the job of a midfielder. Many stick to the basics and get the job done, but some make a meal out of it, and some make it look effortless. Since the turn of the new millennium, we've been blessed to witness some of the best midfielders of all time. The work done in academies on close control and fundamental passing is bearing fruit. For England, it was Paul Scholes, and for Italy, Andrea Pirlo comes to mind. But they are some of the few. It's Spain which has produced one world-class midfielder after another. Xabi Alonso, Guti, Xavi, Andres Iniesta, Cesc Fabregas, David Silva and Santi Cazorla come to mind. And in this select company is Isco. Amongst the midfielders who ooze class, Isco has made quite the name for himself, and in this video we'll discuss his career until this point. Through the ups and downs and under numerous managers, he's made his feet do the talking to remain in contention amongst the best. The fact that he's still 27 shows there's more to come from this talent. Hello everyone and welcome to yet another exciting video on your favourite channel Goalside, which aims to force you into looking at the game very deeply and finding out things that you might not get to see anywhere else. We keep putting out cool stuff all the time, so if you haven't already, subscribe to our channel, like our videos, share them with your friends. If they argue with you about a particular topic, trust us, our arguments are going to make them reevaluate their stance. In today's video, we're going to cover Isco's club and national team career, how he's carved a niche for himself with both Real Madrid and La Roja, and more importantly, what the future holds for him. The video will see us talk about the time when Isco was making a name for himself and having trouble finding minutes on the pitch, alongside Luka Modric and Toni Kroos at the Santiago Bernabeu, and with Silva, Cazorla, Iniesta, Xavi and Fabregas in the Spanish national team. We'll look at his humble beginnings in Valencia, his move to Malaga in lieu of false promises, and arrival at Real Madrid. There's a lot to discuss about Isco, his playing style, how he's the vital cog that makes everyone round him tick, all this and much more. Coming through Valencia's youth ranks. Rafael Benitez made Valencia a household name, and when he left they couldn't keep up with the increased expectations. Unai Emery steadied the ship during his 4 years at the Mestalla. David Villa, David Silva and Juan Mata made a fearsome attacking lineup. It was in these conditions and in the backdrop of the 2008 financial crisis that Isco came through Valencia's youth ranks. But by the time he was knocking on the first team's door, Villa was leaving for Barcelona, with Mata and Silva departing soon as well. Emery had steadied the ship, but their financial woes were catching up. Villa was the first to leave, with Silva and Mata exiting in subsequent windows. Isco was supposed to make the transition from youth football to Valencia's first team, but Valencia were taking their time and unwilling to reward him with an extravagant long-term contract. The fact that Malaga and Villarreal had overtaken them in the points table with Sevilla in close pursuit, Mestalla was not an exciting destination. But it was always supposed to be a stopgap. Isco was meant for greater things and Valencia were not up to the mark. Valencia's struggles and transfer to Malaga. After their initial title success, Valencia were lagging behind and new powerhouses were establishing themselves in La Liga. Villarreal under Manuel Pellegrini were a force to reckon with. The Chilean tactician had managed to claim second place with an understrength squad thanks to Marcos Senna's brilliance, and now he was heading to Malaga and backed by Nasser Al-Thani's millions. Isco was not getting the chances at Mestalla, but his talent was being noticed. Playing for their second string side, he notched 15 goals in 28 appearances, but this was not enough for Unai Emery, who only allowed him 116 minutes across 6 substitute appearances. On the beautiful beaches around Andalusia, Pellegrini was keeping a close eye on Isco's performances and his contractual situation. He'd known about him during his time at Villarreal and made his move. At Malaga, Pellegrini had acquired ageing stars to keep him afloat for a season or two, but needed a young charge to build his team around. Isco was that man, the player to assist Ruud van Nistelrooy in his twilight years and take over as the focal point in attack. The result was an acrimonious departure from Mestalla. But Isco did not look back. He had the confidence of Pellegrini and got plenty of opportunities to impress, and impress he did. In his first full season as a professional, Isco made 32 appearances, providing 4 assists and scoring 5 goals. This helped Malaga claim the top 4 spot and would give Isco a taste of UEFA Champions League football. Isco impressed in Malaga's first Champions League campaign. He was an ever-present figure for the coastal side, hitting the back of the net 3 times and laying down a further 3 assists in 8 appearances. It was a fruitful season for Isco, who improved on his showings in front of goal with 9 La Liga strikes. But trouble was brewing at Malaga. The club had splashed the cash and was having difficulties paying the players. The millions promised by Tani were nowhere to be seen, and the club was heading towards serious financial straits. And just like Malaga had profited from Valencia's woes, Real Madrid repaid them in kind. Los Blancos were impressed by what they'd seen of the newly capped Spanish international and opened their checkbook. For only €30 million, Isco was a Madrid player, the first signing of Carlo Ancelotti's era at the Bernabeu. Move to Madrid. It was a change of roles for Isco in the Spanish capital. He was not the player around whom the squad was built. There was a certain Cristiano Ronaldo in the dressing room who could not allow that. And Madrid were a different team, unlike the previous squads that Isco had played for. But wearing the white jersey had no impact on him. At the grand stage where the likes of Kaká had wilted in dramatic fashion, Isco rose to the occasion, and he improved his overall gameplay. Under Pellegrini, Isco was turning into a goal-scoring midfielder and was also being used as a second striker, playing off Van Nistelrooy during his time there. Ancelotti had a different vision for him. The Italian had overseen the development of Kaká and Pirlo and believed Isco's strengths had other uses. Ancelotti deployed him in a deeper role, and the midfielder obliged. The young midfielder was not going to pick a quarrel with him. It was not his style, and it only accentuated his performances. Isco scored 11 goals, but more importantly, laid down 9 assists. Real Madrid was supposed to miss Mesut Ozil's playing abilities, but a new sheriff was in town. Isco made a solid partnership with Luka Modric and made 53 appearances in his debut season. Ancelotti would deliver Real Madrid the much-awaited La Decima, and Isco was an important part of that side. Ancelotti left Bernabeu, and Zinedine Zidane would take his place, and Isco has remained important in the Frenchman's plans. 3 Champions League titles later, Isco is one of the pillars of Real Madrid. But he's seen his fortunes change under Julen Lopetegui and Santiago Solari. Zinedine's return was supposed to herald positivity in his fortunes, but not so much. He's racked up appearances from the bench, but is not viewed as centrepiece of the Madrid machinery. Where did Isco start his playing career? Answer this and you might win a $100 Amazon gift card. Make sure that you write your answers in the comment section. Struggles and resurgence at Madrid. Isco was a guaranteed starter with the Spanish national team, but Julen Lopetegui did not favour him in his short reign. The same goes for Solari. Zidane too has had a change of heart, and it makes one wonder, how can one of the most gifted midfielders of his era become unwanted all of a sudden? After all, he just won the Champions League with Real Madrid in 1819. Liverpool's midfield had no answer to contain him, and so their defence was troubled all night by his forward balls. And it's in the last part of this statement that we find the answer. Isco is a creative player, and it's his job to find Madrid's forwards. With the evolution of football towards gegenpress, a player of his ilk becomes more of a luxury. It's because of this reason that his fall from stature has coincided with Fede Valverde's rise. The Uruguayan is a high-energy midfield cog that is necessary in the latest tactical evolution in Europe. As much as Zidane might say that Isco is important, the Spaniard is not a high-intensity midfield juggernaut. Real Madrid have Casemiro and Valverde in that role, with Kroos also sharing the responsibility. And it left Isco in a predicament. What should he do? Evolve or leave? And he chose the former path. Isco has transformed himself in the rapidly changing environment, just like he did when he joined from Malaga. As a deep-lying playmaker, he stopped running as much as he used to as a second striker, but now he's using that experience to reignite his career at the Bernabeu. Since the start of 2020, Isco is a man reborn. He started crunch games against Atletico Madrid, Barcelona and Valencia, and was an integral member of the Real Madrid side that won Supercopa de España in Saudi Arabia. His misfortunes are in the back mirror, and he now finds himself amongst Zidane's favoured midfielders. And the stars couldn't have aligned themselves at a better time. His return to form means he will be back in contention for the Spanish national side. Spain need his services, and Luis Enrique is a fan of his abilities, and has watched him in recent games even though his visits also had much to do with keeping abreast of Sergio Ramos' performances. Nevertheless, it is great to see Isco back in contention for Spain and Real Madrid. While the likes of Mesut Ozil have failed to evolve with the latest trends in the game, Isco has remodelled his playing style on the training pitch. No longer does he halt the progression of the play, but uses his deft touches to circulate the ball forward. Now you see him tracking back enthusiastically. There is renewed energy in his playing style. If there's a ball to be won, he puts all his effort into getting it. There's modernity to his on-field persona, but it's not come at the expense of his vision with the ball. Isco is still the same. He's still the player who amazes you with his ball control, mesmerises you with precise passes, and leaves you bewildered with his long-range strikes. A modern midfielder with an artist's soul. That is Isco for you.